Hello and welcome back to Premier League Predictions, the show which does what it says on the tin. We are here to predict this weekend's action in the Premier League. It's game week 25, only 13 more match weeks after this. Very exciting times. The season is progressing rapidly. The title race keeps taking twists and turns, and I'm sure this weekend will provide us with yet more of those twists and turns. But yeah, shall we start on the Friday night? We do have some Friday night football then. Fulham versus Wolves, the 8 o'clock kickoff. Bit of an interesting one, this is one, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, double game week for both these teams. That's why they're playing on the Friday. Wolves are a good team, don't get me wrong. They've looked good under Julian Lopetegui. But they're so up and down, it's really strange. Like, lost to Bournemouth last week. It's a really random result. I still don't think they're, clear the relegation zone. So they still need to pick up every single point they can. But this Fulham side have looked formidable at Craven Cottage this year. Fans.
They're pushing Europe, aren't they?
Yeah,
Fulham currently
really
definitely
campaign.
Could get Europe. I mean, they're currently 8th in the Premier League, 9th in the Premier League, around that sort of area. It's not out of the realms of possibility that they get European football this year. Whether it will happen or not, I don't know. It's going to rely heavily on Liverpool and Chelsea remaining with their poor form. Though Liverpool do seem to be playing a little better.
Has got his side playing some beautiful football. Yeah. I think they'll do the same here. I'm going to go 3-0 Fulham with goals from Mitrovic, Harrison Reed, and João Pillinha, as long as he's suspended.
Fair enough. I think the concern for Fulham is that they might be without their marksman, Alexander Mitrovic. Obviously, he missed the last game through injury. There's a chance he misses this game. I thought they'd struggle for goals without him, and while they haven't been scoring as freely as they were before, they have still been able to get goals and results more crucially. They beat Brighton. That was a big shock, especially without Mitrovic. You'd expect them to dispatch of Wolves quite comfortably here, but I'm actually going to go for the opposite. I think Wolves are playing some really nice stuff at the moment, and I think they will look at this set of double fixtures and see if they can actually make up some ground. I'm going to go 2-1 Wolves. So Wolves will take the lead through Matthias Nunez. Fulham will peg them back thanks to Bobby De Cordova-Reid, and then Wolves will find a late winner through Craig Dawson and his absolutely massive head.
Right.
Onto the Saturday then, the first kickoff, not at 12:30. We've got no early kickoff in the Premier League this week. Everton versus Aston Villa is our first game. As a Villa fan, do you back yourself against Sean Dyche's reinvigorated Everton?
Villa, very up and down, but I think very unlucky against Arsenal. But any team going to Goodison Park, against this Everton side that are going to sit very deep, and their plan will just be kick it long to a tall striker who then flicks it onto the wingers. They get in behind, and they're going to love set pieces. Villa cannot defend set pieces. So I do worry for us a little bit. Everton do look pretty decent under Sean Dyche. I think we're a close game, but I think Villa will just come out on top. I'll go 2-1 Aston Villa. Everton goal from Tarkowski, corner, and Villa goals from Ollie Watkins and John Duran to come off the bench and get his first for Villa.
Fair enough. Villa's defence for me looks incredibly shaky recently. I think in a lot of their games they've conceded a lot of goals recently, and we know 4-2 to Arsenal is the highlight, 4-1 loss as well to Leicester.
2 of those goals against Arsenal were very, very unlucky.
Yeah, but they make the mistakes, the Villa defence, too often. They allow goals that they shouldn't, and their defending in general isn't good enough. The one way they've been able to score is actually they're a pretty decent counter-attacking side, and I think Ollie Watkins has been able to really flourish under Emery's system. But when you face Everton, who are going to sit in a low block, you cannot counter-attack. Unless Everton really go for a corner like they did against Liverpool, Villa won't get many counter-attacking opportunities. I think Villa might get a goal, but I'm backing Everton to win. Everton 2, Aston Villa 1, the inverse of your prediction. I think it will be Ollie Watkins with the goal from Aston Villa, likely to be an Everton corner, then gets spun around. Everton do need to get better at dealing with those set pieces and not allowing themselves to be countered from their own attacking set pieces. Everton will win the game though, thanks to a James Tarkowski double.
Wow.
Bit of a rogue prediction, but he is such a weapon that if Everton can utilise him effectively, they could easily avoid the drop just through him. They haven't got an elite marksman leading the line, but it'll be alright. Tarkowski can score from corners, free kicks, any opportunity. You've got a desperate situation, find Tarkowski with
I think if Villa, against this Everton side, if you get 1 goal, you get 2. and then you get 3.
I disagree. Yeah, well, that might have been true for Liverpool. I think Everton, especially at home in this fixture, will be able to put up more of a fight.
Right.
And I think Sean Dyche will inspire his players actually to put in a really good shift here. On to the next one then, Leeds versus Southampton, both currently in the relegation zone. It's going to be a battle of whose new manager bounce can perform better. Southampton with their second managerial switch of the season as Stellas comes in for his second game in charge. Leeds have binned off Jesse Marsch, and now it's Javi Gracia, former Watford manager, coming in for his debut here.
Rule 1, you should never employ a former Watford manager.
Oh, Marco Silva used to manage Watford. And he's a brilliant manager.
Yeah, but... Yeah.
Rob Edwards is cooking at Luton.
Okay, no. What else has Javi Gracia done apart from Watford?
Probably something in the La Liga.
Exactly. I look at Rob Edwards, he was brilliant at Forest Green. You look at
That
Marco
is League
Silva,
Two.
he was at Hull and did alright at Everton for a bit.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Was Marco Silva at Hull? I
swear he was
forgot
at
about
Hull,
that.
yeah.
If he was, wow. But yeah, Leeds Southampton, I think this is a fairly easy prediction for me. A couple of weeks back I've been saying Jesse Marsch's American boys are going to come in and steamroll Southampton. A couple of weeks on now.
I can tell you now,
I don't think they're going to do anything like it.
0-0 written all over it.
You reckon?
Because Southampton are probably the better side, but Leeds are at home, and Leeds are very good at home. I'm going 0-0.
Oh, you're boring. You're really, really boring.
Leeds and Southampton are boring.
Well, not in my books. It's going to be Leeds United 1, Southampton 5.
No,
They've been battered in recent years by other clubs, conceding 5 goals in a game. But South is going to get his side working here. 1 goal for Leeds. It's going to come through Brendan Aronson off the bench. That'll be a mere consolation after Kamaldeen Sulemana. He's going to announce himself to the Premier League in style with a hat-trick. Then there's going to be a goal from James Ward-Prowse. It's got to be, because no one else is doing much at the moment. And Liverpool's not back from injury yet, is he? I'll go Jan Bednarek from a corner. Leeds 1 at Southampton 5. Huge win for the Saints. I just fancy going a little bit against the grain there.
All right.
Next up, Leicester versus Arsenal. What would have been a fight for 7th in the Premier League last season is now the table toppers heading to the King Power, where Leicester have not looked good this season. But in recent weeks, they have seen an upturn in form, featuring big victories over Aston Villa and probably someone else. But I cannot remember. But yeah, they do have to welcome Arsenal to Leicestershire here. Do you think they have a chance at a result, or Arsenal just a bit too strong?
I mean, Arsenal really struggling at the moment, but I think they're going to scrape a result in I think it's going to be a really scrappy game. Leicester on top, and then I can't think of any Leicester players now. Wout Face is just going to go through Nketiah and get sent off, and it's going to completely turn the game on its head. I'm going to go 1-0 Arsenal.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it'll be a Saka penalty.
I don't think I've ever heard of a side who are 2 points clear at the top of the Premier League with a match in hand being described as poor at the moment. But fair enough.
They haven't won in the last 4 games.
Well, they beat Aston Villa last time out, so that isn't strictly true. But Leicester, I think they will be handed a bit of a battering here. I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal. Arsenal haven't looked, even when they've dominated games, they haven't been comprehensive victory, but 3-0, it'll be a fairly strong scoreline. I'm going to go for goals from Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, and I think Eddie Nketiah will be back amongst the goals after a little bit of a dry patch in his scoring form. Up next then, West Ham versus Nottingham Forest. Bit of a battle for relegation this season. West Ham still in the relegation zone. Nottingham Forest have only just escaped it after a poor start to the season. Could West Ham win here and drag Forest back down, or Forest just playing too well at the moment?
Since Steve Cooper signed a new deal, which everyone laughed at, Forest have had a massive upturn in form.
Yeah,
and I think they're going to keep flying through these results, picking up brilliantly. They picked up a brilliant point against Manchester City last weekend. I think they're going to keep picking up the points. I think they're going to batter West Ham. I will go 3-1 Nottingham Forest. West Ham goal from Bowen, but then Forest goals from Johnson, Awoniyi, and Sergio.
Blanking on Forest players. Yeah, I think Forest will get a decent result, but I don't think they're going to win. I think it will be a draw. I just cannot see West Ham being continuing 3 at home to Nottingham Forest, but strange things have happened. I'll go 1-0. I think it'll be a West Ham goal through Gianluca Scamacca, and I think Morgan Gibbs-White, probably Forest's most dangerous player at the moment. I think he will grab a goal. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting game. Tactically, we're going to see David Moyes facing off against Steve Cooper. Should be an interesting affair. I don't know whether West Ham are going to see an upturn in form. They've been very poor to start this season. They definitely need to improve the form. Whether that will come today, I don't know. Forest are a very tough opponent. Up next, then, it's Bournemouth versus Manchester City, the 5:30 kickoff. Unsurprisingly, we are not live for it because we don't stream cricket. How many goals do you think Manchester City are going to get in this one, then?
We have a poor draw for City against Forest last weekend.
Indeed,
How they got on against Europe. They could have battered Leipzig. They could have drawn 0-0.
We are streaming before that game. Or maybe Nkunku drops a hat-trick on their head tops and a big win for Leipzig.
I think it's just going to be a really dull 2-0 Manchester City win. I'm going to go for goals from Haaland. 2 for Haaland, why not? Yeah, very dull.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's going to be where City show a statement of intent. We don't know how they've got in the league, in the cup, in the Champions League, but we do know that their league form needs to improve if they want to win this Premier League title, and I think they'll mark a statement of intent here. Manchester City will record a 7-0 victory away at Bournemouth. Bournemouth have been on the end of some big losses this season. Well, they lost 9-0 to Liverpool early in the season. I think it's going to be a similarly poor result. I think City...
They look brilliant recently.
City's tactic has worked excellently against clubs like Aston Villa, who aren't great defensively. Bournemouth aren't great defensively. City are good going forward. Haaland hat-trick, Mahrez double, Grealish goal, De Bruyne goal. 7-0 Manchester City. I'm going a bit rogue with the predictions today, but I've got double game week mindset. I'm going mental with the scorelines. Crazy things are going to happen. As for our final game then, Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. This used to be a bit of a, Palace basically had all their team stolen by Liverpool, didn't they? Well, no, that was Southampton, wasn't it? But Benteke went there, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, he went the other way around.
For me, if you asked this to me on Saturday evening or Sunday after Liverpool Newcastle...
Or Monday.
I would have told you that Liverpool were going to wipe the floor Palace. After watching them against Real Madrid...
They're going to be wiped the floor with...
But what they prove, they can still score goals. I'm going to go 3-0.
All right, fair enough. Bit of a mental prediction.
1 from Nunez, 1 from Salah, 1 from Trent, and then Palace goals from Eze, Elise, and Zaha. 3-3 draw.
Fair enough. Crystal Palace... They don't look great recently. Liverpool, I think in the week that was just a minor blip against Real Madrid. Liverpool overall, their game was not poor. I don't think it's a 5-2 result. They obviously didn't play as well as they should have, but I think a lot of their goals came down to individual errors, which were punished by the quality of Real Madrid. Real were a good side, but Liverpool handed them quite a few goals there. Joe Gomez, in particular, was poor, and obviously Alisson booted one straight at Vinicius Jr. But overall, Liverpool did not play horrifically poorly, and I think this Crystal Palace side are a little bit all over the place at the moment. I'd actually consider them as one of my teams I think could go down.
Yeah.
A lot of the teams below them are playing a bit better at the moment, and Palace being dragged into that relegation fight. So I do think Liverpool will record a win here. I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool. Goals from Cody Gakpo and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Both players that have struggled so far this season. Well, Gakpo struggled in his first few games for Liverpool, but now sort of coming into form, and I think they will be the catalysts in a nice victory here on this Saturday evening. On to the Sunday then, just the one game, Tottenham versus Chelsea. No prediction today, guys. We are going to be live for it on Sunday. Please do join us there. 1:30 kickoff will be live 10 minutes before, and then obviously this will precede the Carabao Cup final. So a big double stream on Sunday. Should be brilliant. Hopefully you guys can join us there. Will be a good time as long as Chelsea win. If not, we're going to be sat here crying, and then we're going to watch Manchester United just shoot at Karius for 90 minutes. So should be fun. Make sure to join us. We will hopefully have a great time with you guys in chat. On to the Wednesday then, because we have got some double game weeks. There's no matches for the likes of United and Newcastle and Brighton and Brentford since the Carabao Cup is going on, but they have they've given us some double game weeks to make sure we have our appetite for football is met. Arsenal versus Everton is the first of those, 7:45 on the Wednesday. What are you thinking for this game? Everton recorded a brilliant victory at Goodison Park over Arsenal just a matter of weeks ago. Will history repeat itself, or will Arsenal have learnt that from their mistakes?
I think Arsenal push on from the win against Leicester on the Saturday. I think Leicester Everton being away from home are a very different side. I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal, 2 goals from Saka, and a goal from Martin Odegaard.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm following the same sort of thinking. I'm going to go 3-0 though, Arsenal. I think Everton have played well recently, but this is just going to be another case of Arsenal are just a too good a side for Everton to match up against. I know they recorded a big win against them a few weeks ago, but as you say, Goodison Park really does change games from the fortune of Everton. I think Arsenal will be a very, very tough game, and Arsenal will have learned from their mistakes a few weeks ago. And I think 3-0. Bukayo Saka will be bagging a hat-trick in this one. He's in electric form. Saka, I think he's one of the best young players in the Premier League, and he will continue in his good form. On to the last game on the Wednesday then, 8 o'clock kickoff, Liverpool versus Wolves. Intriguing one, this, because I do feel, though, Liverpool have been in good form recently. Obviously, the Real Madrid result has left a bit of a taint on that form. Well, massive taint on that form, but Palace, I think, are a poor enough as opposition that Liverpool should be able to get a good result regardless of their form. Wolves, though, they are a decent side, but do you think this should realistically be a win for Liverpool?
I think Liverpool will be right. I mean, I would say, they're at Anfield, it's fine, but I mean, they lost 5-2.
Oh, yeah.
At Anfield, which is mental.
They've only conceded 5 goals at Anfield, one on one other occasion since 1953, and that was against Preston. So.
Gotta love Preston.
Got that statistic on stream last night. It was brilliant.
Yeah. I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool with goals from Salah and Robbo.
Yeah. Drawing with Palace but beating Wolves. Interesting predictions from you today. Strange. I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory thanks to a Mohamed Salah goal.
Fair enough.
Liverpool back amongst the goals, and they'll be pushing with those 2 victories up into the top 4. In fact, they'll be a point behind Tottenham if they were to record these 2 victories, with Newcastle not playing and Tottenham losing to Chelsea. We can only hope. But that is all from us today. If you have enjoyed, please do leave a like and just subscribe if you are new. Get involved in the comment section as well. I'd love to hear your guys' predictions and your thoughts on our predictions. I know sometimes we get some very aggrieved fans who are like, why on earth have you just said that Leeds are going to lose 5-0? Apologies to all the Leeds fans in advance for that one. If you're listening on Spotify, then head on over to the YouTube to get involved in all of that and watch our streams as well. So yeah. They're always great fun, and we love seeing you guys in chat. But that is all from us today. Thank you all very much for watching or listening, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.